Hello, I'm Richard Crookston, and we're going to show you. I'm going to make a video of the things I did this morning, and we're going to start with. I'm going to work with 3 examples. But first, let me show you what you can do with Windows. This is on Windows 10, which I have at home. At our school, we have Windows 8, but Windows 10 has a little bit more features. You can do this in Windows 8 too. If you take a title bar of a folder or a application and you bring it to the side real quick, it automatically makes it fill in half. If I click a other one, it will fill the other half. And if I open a third one, and I can take that, and if I flip it to the corner, notice that it fills only the corner, so I can actually have 4 things open, or 3, and it allows you to go through and move around on whatever you want to do. And anyway, so we'll go look at that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on 3 files. I went to show the files, but where you download them. But if you go into where, I can't get away from student ID numbers, so I'm not going to do that. These files, I have taken out all the individuals' names and student IDs. So just be aware that I've loaded them from 3 different places. One from Aware, some test results, one from Gradebook, and then one from our Pearson textbook, which has a lot of stuff. I can do some manipulation in that. So let's first go to the Gradebook example. So if I open that up, I've got a Gradebook example here, and if I look at this, I'm going to show you a few things you can do in Excel. If you take any column up at the header and you click on between those 2 columns, double click, you will automatically resize that column to match. If you do it with, let me go to a different one. Notice that these ones are a lot of information. And if I was to click all these and come all the way over here, and everything I got selected, if I double click between any 2 columns, it will reformat everything to the size of the largest equation, or the largest cell. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at these cells, and I go, these cells here are taking a lot of room for just these numbers. So if I want to change them, I'm going to go collect all of them, and I'm going to format them so they're written vertically. And you can do that with the pull down menu right here. I have put it up into my my shortcut form up there. I'll show you how to do that in just a second. But if I pull down that one and I was to rotate text so it's going up and click that, now all my text is up. And if you click the corner here, that selects all rows and all columns, and now I can double click between that, and I just reformatted everything so that it's the length of the vertical and it is the width of the largest size of each one of these columns. One of the things that becomes also very handy to do is go into and pick a place where you want to freeze everything so you can scroll around. So I'm going to click here. If you go to View and you go to Freeze Panes, you have a choice of freezing just the top row, freezing the top row, or freezing the first column. But I'm going to freeze right where my cursor is, right here, and freeze that here. And what that allows me to do is scroll up and down, and I can go left and right, and I've always got the name of the student ID and so forth. Now there's some things I also showed. I wanted to show, say you want to keep track of how many assignments they've turned in versus how many zeros. In my gradebook I use Z for a 0. So I can actually use a formula. Anytime you use a formula, you push the equal key and it brings up the formula, and you can pull down a pull down menu. It gives you your most common ones, and then if you want to go see more functions, it will give you probably, I don't know, maybe there's 50, 60 functions in here, or you can go by different types: financial, date, time, math and trigonometry, statistical, and so forth. So I'm going to go ahead and let me push my equal sign again, and I'm going to go ahead and pick, well, I'm going to pick count. When you pick count, it tells you exactly what's going to happen. It says counts the number of cells in a range that contain the numbers. So that contain numbers, and so I've got a lot of cells here that contain numbers, but I do have some that contain zeros. I want to know who's turning in their assignments. So when you do that, it says I'm going to go from B2 right here to Y2. Well, I don't want to go from B2, so I can select C2 and go all the way to Y2. And once I select that, it fills in my range. And then I think you can actually put a value for 2, I'm not sure. And it actually tells me for this one, I'm going to have 23. So if I click OK, if I was to count all these, I would find 23. And if I take this at the corner and drag it down, I will get all the grades are turned in. So this person here has 17, that person has 23. That's because this person has, there's 6 different. This person has 5 Z's there. I'm going to highlight it, and 1 Z there. So they had 6 assignments they didn't turn in. Now, if I wanted to write a formula, how many zeros they have, I can do equals 23, subtract this number here, because there's a total of 23. Whoops, let me go do that again. Equals, and I can put 23, subtract, and I'll click this cell here, and that tells me if I take 23, subtract that column or that cell, this person had 0 zeros, and then I can just bring it down, and now I can put the number of zeros that's in there. And if I wanted to sort by the number of zeros, taking the ones who have the most, like this person here has 8, then I might want to notify the parents or something. Okay, if we look at what we've got here, I'm trying to think of some other things to show. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and work with this over here, and I don't want to see all this here. Instead of moving it over, I'm going to show you how you can hide it for the time being. So I'm going to go ahead, in fact, I'm going to hide all this, and I just do a right click, go down to hide. Now that information has been hidden from me, and I can get back to it anytime, and I'll show you how to do that. So now let's say, okay, I've got this last name, first name, and I've got their student ID number, and I'm thinking, well, I really want just their first name and then their last name. So I'm going to go ahead and copy it, put it into a new column. By doing that, I can work with it. I'm going to use a thing called text to, it's over here in data, it's called text to columns, where I'm going to break up the text into different columns. And what it does is it'll take this and it'll move it into the next cells. It'll fill all these out and fill in the next cells with the way I want it sorted or separated. So what I'm going to do is going to go text to columns. Whoops, I got to select some text. So in fact, I'm going to do all of them at the same time. Select them all. And I'm going to go text to columns. And when you do that, it has 2 ways of doing it. You can either do it by fixed width, where you can say, okay, I want all these. If I fix width, I can select, okay, I want to divide it here and here and here. And it will break things up, make this column 1, column 2, column 3. But I don't want to do that. I'm going to come back and I want to do delimited. And what I'm going to delimit is on 2 things. One I'm going to delimit on is the comma. And the other thing I'm going to delimit on is the left parenthesis. So we'll go next. So I'm going to delimit on comma and other, and I'm going to put in a left parenthesis. Now it's going to divide them up like this. And so I'm going to go next, and it shows me what each one of these are going to look like. And then I'm going to go, I can actually tell which format I want for each one. And I'm going to hit finish. Okay, there, now I've got them separated, and now, but I don't want a parenthesis here, so I can do a controlled F, or which is find, or I can do a find and go down to replace, and I'm going to replace all my right parentheses with nothing, and I'm going to replace all of them, and it just got rid of all my right parentheses. Okay, but really all I want is first name and last name, so I'm going to go ahead and delete this column. So I go up here and delete the column. Now I have a last name and a first name. I'm resetting the size of the column. So let's say I want to do first name then last name and a space in between them. So I can do another formula, and I'm going to use what's called concatenation, which means combine, and I'm going to concatenate those two columns. So the first thing I want is the first name. Then I want a space, so I type a space in, it puts a space there. And then notice that for the space it's going to put quotation, space, quotation. The quotation marks means I'm putting text in and not a number or mainly a number. And the text one I want to be last name, so I'll click on last name, which is AB2, and it's going to show me my results. First and last name. I hit OK, and it came out exactly what I wanted. And now I'm going to just pull down this, and it'll populate that formula in it to every cell using what's next to just to the left of it. Now, if I look at these and I click on these, it shows that it's using a formula to come up with each one of these values. If I want to make it so it's not a formula anymore, I can copy it one more time and come over here. I'll hit Control C to copy it, and what I'm going to do is paste it over here, and I'm going to paste it as a value, not using the formula. And when I paste it as a value, notice when I click on here I have first name, last name, but over here I have the formula. Okay, that was one of the things I was going to show you. Since we're in here, I had to get rid of all the names. I'll show you real quick how to get rid of things, or how you can write over things. So if I want to start numbering something with 25, and then I want to go 26 and continue, I can take two numbers in a row, and I can drag and expand it, and it will expand all my numbers going by one. I can do 26, skip 30, and I want to skip every four numbers. It picks up the pattern, and I can go like that, and it will take it down. If I want to half something, I can do 150. I think it's going to half. It might subtract 50. We'll see what it does. And I'll scroll down, and it'll pick up that pattern. No, it's subtracting 50 each time. Probably to get a half, I probably need to go 100, 50, 25. Let's see if it picks that up. These are things I've never tried, but I think it will find that too. Half of 25, no, I don't know what it's doing, so forget that. Okay, anyway, so you can do that. But not only can you do that, you can also do words. So if I went Monday, Tuesday, and I was to go down like that, it would take all the days of the week. If I was to make one capital and spell it out, it would give me the names of the all spelled out. So it's quite smart in creating your spreadsheet. You can even do months. In fact, you can probably experiment on a lot of things. I'm not sure how many different things it does, but these are the ones I use quite often when I'm creating new spreadsheets to fill things in. Quite powerful. I think that's pretty much what I showed everybody on this here. That's gradebook example. Oh yeah, we need to unhide everything. So if I come over here where it goes from B to AB, I'm missing some stuff. So if I pull this out, all of a sudden I would find that, no, I didn't get it right. If I come over here, there's AA, and I can pull them out one at a time. That takes a long time. Or I can select between B and AC, and I can just do a right click and unhide, and I've got everything back again. Okay, that's what we did with the gradebook. So I'm going to show you some more formatting, and I'm going to do that with, let's go with aware. And on aware, I've taken out the names here. So usually on aware, I'm showing you that you can get this format where you have everything come, and it's got the student's name, the local ID, and so forth, and then all these others. A lot of times I hide these so I can just look at the numbers, and if I look at those, and I can hide them. percent scores, notice that they all got a green arrow, green corner up there. That means if I click on that, there's a little caution mark here. If I click on, do the pull down, it says, well, I think what it says is this is stored as a text. The number in this cell is formatted as a text or preceded by an apostrophe. So this is a text, and I really want to do some information with this. I want to do some formulas on it. So I don't want text, I actually want to convert it to numbers. Notice as a text, it's on the left side. As soon as I convert it to numbers, takes away that caution sign, puts them all to the right. Now I can do some formulas like, let me know what the average is. And then it'll give me the average from, I'll take it from this one down to this one. That's good. I could also, if I wanted to, I could take, I could find the maximum, which I don't know where that is. Maximum, we go more functions, and we can go down to statistical ones. And you got average and all kinds of financial ones. Counts, there should be a max or a min. There's max, so I can find the maximum. Well, or I can find the medium. Let's do the medium. So I hit OK, and I want to do my median between these right here, and I select OK. My median score was 59. So you can do average, median, and so forth. These dates are all they're all text. Only 2 digits for the year. So if I wanted to, I could reformat those to 2000 if we wanted to. And nope, didn't do it. I'm not sure what that does. Okay. Let's see if there's anything else I was going to show on this. Let me go back to, that was for individual scores, but say I want to know what they get on each question. Now, when you get this one, you get a whole bunch of headers up here. And these are, if you click one, these are what we call merge cells. And if I want to, if I click on this, it will unmerge it, and it'll, instead of being 4 rows all merged as one, it takes it back to 1. I'm going to go ahead here, and I want to unmerge everything. And the reason I want to unmerge everything is I want to make this header smaller. This right here, I don't like up there. I'm going to delete it. I want to bring it down to this information, and then I want the numbers of all the questions that they answered, and I want to take the raw score out to the advanced, bring that down, and now I'm going to start deleting some columns. So delete and delete. Okay. Just as I unmerge, you can also merge cells. I didn't really do that during my presentation. And let's go here, and we'll go ahead and click hide. And I don't think there was anything else. Percent score is still the same thing. I want to make those so they're a number, not a text. And to give you an idea what the difference is between a number and text, let's just say I've got 1.250. It makes it 1.25. But if I wanted it to be text, I could put an apostrophe 1.250. And notice it's over on the left side. This is written as if those numbers were text and not numbers. If I wanted to convert it back over, then I'd go like this and convert it to the number, and it'll go like that. Let me go back, and so if this is a text, I can't do the things like I can't move decimal places because it doesn't make sense. But if I change it to convert to a number, now it's a number, I can move the decimal places. There it rounds, and I can move it out, so how many ever decimal places I want for that number. I really didn't go through any of these in the formatting. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is go into one that needs a lot of formatting. So I am going to close this one out from Excel. No, what I'm going to do is I'm going to minimize it. And I'm going to bring up another one from Excel, and that is the one I get from Pearson, which you can tell this has got lots of things that need to be formatted so it's easier to read. But notice I have two things with, no I don't. I got one's, here's Pearson, okay. I'm going to go ahead and close out of this one. And I'm not going to save it. Okay, so here I've got this in Pearson. So I'm going to just go through the way that I format. The header, I want to keep this information, but I don't want it at the top. I want to work better with the numbers. So I'm going to do a Control X, which is a cut. Right up here, the scissors, and I'm going to paste it down here. And so we'll just paste, and it goes down here, and I'm going to delete these rows using the delete cells, and that'll either delete columns or rows when you pick that up. Okay, one of the things I have in here, if I was to expand this, I've got this not started. So these are assignments my students have done online. Some of them have not started them, some are in progress, like here's an in progress here. And one of the things I'm going to show you that I did not show in the class, didn't have time, is I'm going to show you how to do some macros, which is kind of nice. So I'm going to take this example, I'm going to move it, I'm going to copy it, so I have two of them, so I can come back and show you how the macro works. And hit OK. I've already got a macro built on this, so I'm going to just show you how to build it, and I've already got one. So one of the things I want to do is, I don't like this not started throughout here. I'm going to make this smaller so I can fit it in with the numbers. So if I do the find and select, we're going to do a replace, and every place I have not started, I'm actually going to copy this up here, put it here. I'm going to replace it with NS, standing for not started. I'm going to replace all the ones on my sheet. There's 125, and I'm going to now close that. And so now I've got rid of a lot of that text. The only one I got left to do is the in progress. So I'm going to do a replace on the in progress. And what I'm going to do is copy that and put it right here on find what. And this one I'm going to put IP. And I'm going to replace all. Okay? And that's that. And then I'm going to close it. And so now I look at all these and I do not have any of those long words. And this is going to be easier to format. Now, you can go up to where it says View. You can go up and click Macros. And if you do a record macro, like this here, you can give it a shortcut key, whatever you want, or you can give it a name. We'll call it macro 1. I could put shortcut Control 8, and every time I hit Control 8, it will do my macro. When you do a macro, what it does, it says it has to be a letter. So I'm going to say Control M, and for macro, and I can write in there replaces text. Or replaces not started. Hit OK. And what will happen is it's everything I do. Now, if I did my Control F and took the in progress, replaced it with that, and replace all, it says it's already been done. Hit close. And then if I hit macro, I can say stop recording, and it just saved that macro. Now I've already done that on a few, so if I go to example 2, I'll show you how quick it is. On this one here, I want to do, I'm going to get rid of the not started, so I have a macro that says view macros. Oh, I don't have it on this one. It just should have replaced the, yeah, see how it replaces all the IPs? So, and you can go ahead and record macros, and that will, if something you do over and over again. I do this every time I take homework once a week, and I'll do it on 6 of these, and it makes it much quicker. Okay, I'm going to go through some more formatting. Okay, these here are the dates the assignments were due. This gives the name of the assignments. However, this is one long text box. So what I'm going to do is I want to change all these to shorter. So I really only want the name after the colon. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the data and go to a text to columns. And we're going to do delimited. This time my delimited is going to be not a tab, but a colon. I want everything on, I want what's after the colon. And I'm going to, for this I can hit finish. And it took out all the dates and stuff like that. And if I take this here and look at it, this is what I want. Now here's the interesting thing. I'm going to copy all these. And I really want to paste them where all these dates are, because that's what those 4/3/2017. The first one is this one, 4/3/2017. The second one is online quiz. And I want to paste all those rows into these columns. So you can go to paste special, and you can go, this is transpose, which means it'll take rows into columns or columns into rows, depending on which direction you're going. And I'll click that, and it just replaced every one of those dates with its name. Now that I'm there, I also want to make it go up and down and make it vertical. And I want to make this average vertical too. So now when I come in here, if I click this right here, that'll allow me to do everything in the spreadsheet. It will minimize them to the width of each column. Now this one still has this stuff here. I need to get rid of this here, delete that. And I still want that there, but I'm going to just pull over my column so it's that width. And this one I'm going to pull over here. And this one I'll pull over. But it did all the other ones. And I always select all these, and I always like them to be centered. So I'll put the centered one, and now they're centered. Like previously we shown, I want to freeze. So I'll go to View, and I will freeze panes right there. So now I can scroll and look at all my students. I can look at this here, which I don't really need now. So I'm going to delete it. So I'll go to Home and Delete. And I just showed you a lot of things to do here. One thing I mentioned I was going to show you here was on, I know where it's at on, I've got I think 2007 Excel. We were using 2013, but conditional formatting. And so if you go into conditional formatting, I can select all my numbers here, and I can ask it to go ahead and color scale it. And I can go like this, and notice that it gives all my high scores a dark green, my low scores are red. And I can quickly look to see who's doing well and who isn't. Real neat feature, and it's called conditional formatting. It has a lot of very powerful features. If you go into, you can come up with highlighting rules where it says greater than a certain number, fill it with a certain color, and you can just do all kinds of things. Anyway, I think that finishes that. Somebody want to know a little bit about formulas. The way formulas are, if you hit an equals, and you get your formula bar up here. If I want to do, well, let me first get some numbers in here. So I'm going to just create 12, 15, and let's go 16, and let's go 18 here. So I'm going to take this one, take these two down. No, I'll take these two this way. Oh, let's take these two this way, like that. And we'll come down here. So now I got a bunch of numbers. And we'll do different things with the formula. So let's get them all so they're smaller, and I can you can also, if you have them all selected, you can move them to the width you want, and that moves every one to that width, and that makes it easier to work with. So a formula you can do say I want to do equals and I want to add these, so I'm building up there, plus that one, and then I want to subtract the next two, so I hit subtract, and notice it's giving me the location, S10. We'll subtract one more, hit the subtract key, hit here, and there is no equal key. As soon as you hit the enter, that is your formula, and when you hit that, that gives you the formula of adding those two and subtracting those two, and you can pull it down, and now all these formulas will be the same, but for these different ones. So this one is Q11, R11, and then I'm subtracting S11 and T11. On your formulas, the sum bar, if you hit the sum bar, auto sum here, it'll automatically sum usually to the top or to the left of whatever you need. If you don't like what it's picked, then you can pick something else and then just hit enter, and it'll give you that much of a sum. The other thing, and anytime you do a formula, you have all these different options here, which are built-in formulas. It'll keep track of the ones you use the most. And there's just a lot to read about formulas. There are financial formulas, there's date and time. I'm going to show how to do some, another thing I'm going to show you is how to do formatting on using formatting. Time's a real good one to use formatting on. So there's a whole bunch there. There's a whole bunch under financial ones, database, text, the engineering ones. Those are pretty high. I'm not sure what all those do, but anytime you click on them, when they tell you exactly what it is, returns the complex conjugate of a complex number. So these things go into fairly high level math. Okay, let me show you about a date. If I was to type in 4/8, it's going to give me April 8th, 2017. However, on this one, it didn't give me the year. If I did 4/8/17, it should give me the year. So these are formatted differently. Notice that one's formatted this way, one's formatted that way. Say I want them all formatted the same. I can go up here, and I can even select more of these columns, and I can go under format. That's the easiest way for me is to come into here and format cells and go into date, and you have all these options. I can make them all look, the slash or 1401 and hit OK. And it's that way. If you don't like that way, you can even come up with your own custom ones, which if you come down to custom, you can go into this and type in capital. Let's say I want to do month first. I can put capital M, MM, and then I can put a comma, then I can do day, and then I can put 2 parts of the year or 4. Notice how above it shows exactly what it's going to look like. So that's going to be 17th. If I put 2 more, I'll put 2017, and then I hit OK. And now it looks like that format, and you do it any order you want. You can do this with numbers and everything else. Anyway, I enjoyed working with you. I know this is a long video, but it allows you to go back and look at it, put stop and move forward and so forth. And thank you for your time. Bye.